Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is the Daily Rundown. No, this is TheStreet Live. We're going to do the Daily Rundown next. Sorry, I got them a little confused, but I am standing live
because
on the
David
floor.
Faber was on Jeopardy. It's got everybody buzzing. Like, we're all kind of off our game because of Faber, and so proud of him and what he did. I think that those who have not watched him watch tonight. He's a total pro.
Yeah, that final Jeopardy question, I was completely stumped. I had no idea what it was.
None whatsoever. None.
All right, so Jim, we got to get right into the market. So we initially opened up green, but we are seeing some selling pressure now. We're going to get into a lot of the big earning reports of the day: Clorox, Eli Lilly, and more. But what's your take on the overall market?
What's interesting is that there are companies that are they seem almost damned here. I'm going to give you an example. We owned MasterCard for the trust. Now, MasterCard reported a really magnificent quarter. They did many things right. It has been straight down as if there was something wrong. And maybe that's because they're not square, right? But when I look at the inability for certain stocks to bottom, I find it disconcerting because it feels almost like first-round COVID.
Yeah, and we know MasterCard, they rely heavily on that rebound of cross-border travel.
Yes, and there's been, the TSA numbers were very good yesterday in terms of flight. But I'm itching to buy MasterCard, but it's a falling knife.
Well, let's talk about why it might be going down. So now we did have the New York Times reported this morning that New York City could require proof of vaccination to enter indoor dining and gyms. And also the CDC.
You buy DoorDash on that because they're not going to go to the restaurants. It's very bad for my restaurants. I know that.
Yeah, it would be really hard for business. Now, the CDC also said that the 7-day moving average of cases has exceeded last summer's peak. So, Jim, do you think that is the market just pricing in today more concerns about the Delta variant?
Absolutely. And I think that when you see the retailers that are up, those are the retailers that could handle COVID. And particularly Walmart, which has been a stock that we've owned that has not acted well. And now it's finally breaking out. We're up on it. And I don't know, would you sell some? We should discuss that, if only just because it is a big position.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We'll discuss it on our daily rundown right after this, what I teased earlier. But that we could have a nice little debate on what to think about Walmart.
Well, I mean, a lot of times, like AMD, you don't want bulls make money, bears make money, hogs get slaughtered. Now, we sold some AMD. It continued to go up, but I mean, the point is that that's a monster move. Now, look, I hate to look at Lilly because we sold some Lilly, and we sold Lilly and had a great hit, and then it's up another 20 because people just anything when it comes to Alzheimer's. I analyzed waste management endlessly because we succumbed to what I think was TheStreet being very bearish on waste, and that was wrong. And I'm just very wary of selling anything here because it does feel like that we're in a little bit of a spot. I mean, I'll give you an example. Abbott Labs. I wanted to get rid of Abbott. Why? Because I thought we were done with COVID. Well, now Binac's testing, which had been such a bad, remember they botched that? Now coming back. People are buying Abbott off that. So, everything's changed because of Delta. It's all Delta.
Yeah, and Eli Lilly that you did mention. Now they did miss on earnings, but they did reaffirm their full year guidance. Now the miss was really due to I believe it was the COVID antibodies, some weaker than anticipated sales for the full year. But last time I checked, the stock was up about 3%, and you mentioned that's just the Alzheimer's, just a lot of positive.
It's possible you can talk about Alzheimer's, and it can't be shut down. I mean, it's the biggest market out there, and you can say something positive. And I know that some of our companies are working on Alzheimer's, and AbbVie doesn't matter. They're not. AbbVie, I'm just concerned about. If it didn't have the dividend, it didn't sell at 8 times earnings, you would say, what's going on there? They have the possibility of really turning on the jets. I don't think they're doing it.
Now, you did mention some of the pandemic winners, whether it be the watch stocks, they're up today, Abbott with their testing, they're up today. But one of the pandemic winners from last year that is down hard today is Clorox. And that was a pretty significant miss on the top and bottom line. What do you think about Clorox?
I have Linda Rendell on tonight, the CEO. Every division was bad. Now, remember, the hope was that the cleaning business would be bad year over year, but that the others would be fine. And the others were not. And I think people are going to take a hard look and make a decision whether 3% yield is enough to be able to tide you through what clearly is the need for some radical action. I think that there's, what I'm going to press tonight is to say, all right, what are you contemplating radical action? Or are you doing radical acceptance of the hand you've got? Because we got to know this. Got to know this.
Now, one stock you did highlight last night on your show was Square after that big acquisition of Afterpay. And you use Square as a metaphor for just stocks that millennials love. It's a way to really engage with the millennial. So what are some other stocks that you think are also kind of fit that narrative of ways to reach that younger generation?
Domino's, which has been just on fire, had a really good number. A DoorDash, which obviously people identify with because they want to sit at home and they have that drizzly, where the alcohol was sent to you. It's very good. Snap, it's something to do at home. TikTok, but that's not public. This is what I'm seeing people do, and I've got to tell you, I'm getting nervous about the credit cards away from Square. They're doing so poorly, it makes me feel like people are really worried about consumer spend.
MasterCard, Visa, those are the
two. These are great companies. MasterCard down another 9. We're going to have to talk about buying MasterCard. We really are. I mean, it's just a great company. And this too shall pass. I just don't know how quickly it'll pass.
Yeah, that's always the one thing that is worth figuring out.
We sold it much higher. It's a different stock now. It did have a great quarter. I went over the quarter, went over the CEO. I really liked what I saw. Now, I mean, but then again, you say, Jim, you liked DuPont when you saw it. And DuPont went down bad. There's some curious reactions.
Now, we're going to get into DuPont on our Action Alerts Plus video right after this, but let's just tease it a little bit. I mean, it was a better than expected quarter, and I think there were some concerns about the quarter after PPG missed pretty badly. So why do you think the stock's down?
PPG had growth. DuPont had growth. They're not going to pass on some of those raw costs till the fourth quarter. Maybe that is what people are thinking about. But Ed Breen says they're going to pass them on. I'm not worried. Ed Breen's money is good. They did the IFF. People did misinterpret how much IFF would go up. But DuPont did well. They bought back stock. They buy back more stock. DuPont's action is quizzical. And it's another one that I would be tempted to buy if you owned it or if you were a member of the club.
All right, let's get back into another earnings report of the day, Under Armour. Now, there was a very bullish call yesterday on the stock, and it proved to be the right one, as Under Armour did report a much better than expected quarter, raised their full year guidance.
It's like barely up now. I mean, that's crazy. That was a really solid quarter.
What do you think about stocks in general throughout earnings season when they report very strong numbers, raise guidance, but they sell on the news? Is that anything to be concerned about?
Something's happened in the month of August. I think that there's a definitive trend by money managers to say, I want to get ahead of others selling, and they're selling hard. And when I see that, like when I did a piece last night by Larry Williams, who's a very good technician, that this is a point of weakness, buy gold, sell stocks. It's playing out, and I'm concerned about it. We obviously have exposure. We've got cash. We have exposure. And, you take a look like Boeing. I mean, Boeing, nothing's happened, and it's just rolling over. And you got to be careful.
It's just that continual theme, right? Boeing down, maybe aerospace falls because of the Delta variant, renewing concerns.
And then what people want to do is they want to buy companies that withstood it before, Walmart and Home Depot. And not the companies that are discretionary spend, although Simon Properties did do a good number.
All right. That's the show for today. We'll leave it right there. I'm Jeff Marks. We'll see you tomorrow.